Been officially 1 week since I quit my corporate job. So far, life has been kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, now more than ever, I have to make it as a content creator. I have to put in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of effort. Like I have to go way harder than I did before. And I'm excited for that because that's what's really gonna help us grow. And I think with enough effort and dedication, we'll figure it out. It's been officially 1 week since I quit my corporate job. So far,
Someone asked me if I would quit my job to pursue content creation full time now that I'm making more money from UGC than I am my corporate job, and the answer is no. I have many reasons for why I wouldn't, but the most important outside of the rising cost of health insurance is the reality that some days I don't be wanting to film videos. I went a whole week without creating any content because I've kind of hit a mini burnout. The creative juices aren't flowing, and I just don't have the motivation. But when content creation is your full-time job, you have no choice but to push through because you have bills to pay, but as for me, I'm a chill on both. I'm taking the PTO. Anyways, that was my answer. Maybe if I hit 1 million followers or whatever, I may consider it. But as for now, baby, catch me on.
I love that. I love that. And see, now she has leverage. Now she has leverage on both ends. On both ends, she basically has a backup plan for both. So she can take her PTO and she doesn't have to worry about, oh, how are they going to think about this? I'm taking this time off. No, it's like, I still got other stuff going on. And if anything, now when you take the PTO, you can allocate a little bit more into the content, see how that works, see if you can grow it a little bit more. But she's getting money on both ends. And don't she look so peaceful? Don't she look like, see, you would think having to work more would take away from your peace. But funny enough, it'll give you more of a sense of peace because now you're diversified and you're hedging against risk. And so you can feel more stable. She's got insurance. She doesn't have to worry about that. She probably has a job still putting into her retirement. So she can maybe add a little bit extra to it, but for the most part, she can work hard, play hard, live however she wants. And again, she's not obligated on either end. If you don't have anything else on the side, then maybe work can be more draining because you need it so bad. And same thing like she said on the content. Some days she doesn't feel like posting and she don't have to post it because she doesn't need to. She doesn't have to post for survival. So I respect that. Now that other young guy that we watched at the beginning,
it's been kind of fire.
He said basically it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. And I'm going to be real. His content quality was pretty good in that video. But for one, it wasn't that long of a video. It wasn't that long of a video. And TikTok doesn't pay you unless your videos are at least 1 minute. And then they even have other stipulations. Let's watch another one of his. Because I'm curious to see if he's really going to go in like that. But at the same time, I'm just going to let you know, this dude doesn't even have 300 followers. So he's probably not even monetized on TikTok. Maybe he does streaming. He looked like he had like more of a streamer setup. Maybe that's his bread and butter. But he's definitely nowhere near making any money off TikTok right now.
Real question, what happens if somehow the streaming fails? Well, if streaming fails, y'all, just get another job, bro. No, on a serious...
So he is trying to be a streamer. He's trying to be a streamer. I don't know how that's going to work out. I'm going to be honest. But he clearly has a passion for it. But, sir, you're going to have to get a job too, most likely.
5 days ago, I quit my $82,000 fully remote recruiting job to become a full-time content creator, and I've never been more scared or excited in my life. And did I mention I have less than 300?
Oh my goodness. This is getting crazy. I was going to stop it there. It was already a red flag. But now he's like the other guy. This dude don't even got no followers. He quit a job making $82K. Recruiting. So he's got a sales job, but he's basically got a sales job to where you just have to, he's got a recruiting job in this economy where everybody needs a job. And he left that. Do you know how easy his job probably was? He's got a recruiting job in a time where things have completely flipped and the corporations have all the leverage. And it was remote. Remember that. And he couldn't make that work for him to be able to do his content creation and work his recruiting job and do both. And he's clearly not making any money off content creation yet. You see what I mean? At this point, can you not just say it's laziness? Like, people just don't want to stretch their capacity and stretch themselves ultimately. Y'all, before we get back into it, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second. And it actually helps out more than you know. And it's literally just a click. So if you're here anyway, you might as well click that like button. And also, if you can hype the video as well. Now, left 82K recruiting job that was remote. He worked from home doing recruiting to do content creation. And this dude doesn't even have 300 followers. Let's get back into it.
Excited in my life. And did I mention I have less than 300 followers? So back in December, I started making daily content, really just to document my move to a new city and figuring out life as a whole. About a month in, I found out about UGC, which is user generated content, basically making content for brands and getting paid without a following. I went all in on this, made a portfolio, took a course, made my Fiverr, and started cold pitching to brands. Within 2 months, I was getting paid, working with brands I actually knew, seeing my face in ads, and all doing this while working my 9 to 5. But deep down, I knew I wanted more. The freedom, the creativity, the challenge. So I jumped ship, no safety net, no backup plan, just going all in on chasing my dreams. So if you've ever dreamed about ditching your 9 to 5 to build your own path, I'm documenting the whole thing. So follow along for the journey and stay tuned.
Somebody in the comments, it's a lady. I try to make sure I don't say these people's names, even though it's not like you'll know who it is. Laura in the comments said, I love this. I'm on the same journey to quit my corporate job. Really? It's a journey? But listen, let me see. He could have kept both. If you keep both, and if you're getting paid on the content creation side, because you were just short of 100K, 6 figures, the content would have definitely took you to 6 figures. Did the content completely replace that revenue? Are you really going to sit here and tell me that you're making 82K doing this content thing that you're doing that doesn't even, that sounds so freelance. He makes the ad videos and pitches it to corporations. That sounds so freelance. That does not sound at all stable and like you can reliably and consistently predict that you'll be earning month over month. It really does not. You should have kept your job and used this supplementary until you were making 100K off this. And then you should have probably still kept your job, but just prioritize this. In my opinion, he had a good job and he could have kept moving up and gaining recruiting experience, because that is a profession where a skill is required. And so he could have continued getting seniority as well and positioned himself to where he would have probably eventually got a more cushy recruiting job where he could have been over other recruiters. And then he would have had more time, because this would have been a more senior role where he would have just probably been managing or whatever. And then he could have still did his stuff, but hey.
Good morning. I have coffee and I have opinions. And the hot topic on the blog.
The caption says, people quitting their jobs to go full-time in content creation.
Good morning. I have coffee and I have opinions. And the hot topic on the block is, well, I don't know if it's on y'all feed, but it's on mine. People are upset about certain people like leaving their profession to pursue content creation full time. And always, the people that get hit most with the hate are healthcare workers. And I be sitting there like, well, damn, if anybody needs a break, it's us. It presented the right opportunity. Deuces. Ta-ta. Like, and you would do it too for a check. Like, and I know it's a broader issue of like,
quit your job for a check. This is what I mean. A check. I don't think she means it like that, but that's kind of what it is. It is a check, because you don't know how the content creation is going to keep looking year over year. There's always going to be somebody that's next, and it's going to get burnt out like anything else. And so it kind of is a check. But your career, especially you're in healthcare, that's a consistent check. And that's a stable check. And that's a guaranteed check. So say you're leaving guaranteed checks for a check.
I know it's a broader issue of like who's going to take care of us. You know, like if everyone stops working in order to pursue something easier, like we're not going to have any doctors, any surgeons, any nurses, any. Okay, so treat them better now. If y'all treated them better now, they made more money now, they weren't drowning in student debt now, maybe people will be more inclined to keep their damn job. But if I gotta go where the money resides.
I got to say this comment. Somebody in the comments, you know what they said? They said, girl, I will quit a job for absolutely no reason at all. No backup plan and no side quests. People should leave others alone. As long as I don't have kids or someone to support, I'm doing whatever I feel like on a whim. And then somebody said, no, this is me too. Laugh my A off. I'll quit if the AC too cold. Listen, what I do respect about that comment is that at least you didn't take on any dependents, any responsibilities. Because we see people with that philosophy and they got kids. Plural. Super plural. They might have over 3. Now, so at least you're just saying, hey, I didn't take on no responsibility, so I can do what I want. I respect it, but it's still not smart to just say you're just going to leave your job on a whim with no backup plan. Because although you don't have anyone to take care of right now, eventually you will get to a point to where you cannot work and you will need to be taken care of. So you need to be making sure you got some income coming in, especially at the peak of your energetic years when you actually have energy to where you can go and trade your time for money and your effort for money, and it's worth something. You should be trying to take advantage of that so that you can prepare for when you ultimately cannot take care of yourself anymore, and you will be able to outsource that and pay for that to be done, as well as medical things and ultimately just retirement.
Side, which is like over here in content creation, because you got hella bills to pay. Like some people are like, no, you're a surgeon and you're making $500,000 a year or $1 million a year, whatever. You don't know how much them folks could have in student loans. You don't know how much stress they've gone through. And that's not to say they're never going to go back to working, or maybe they'll now be so, like, have so much less stress on them that they can do pro bono work, take pro bono cases and, like, you know, help in a community clinic and do way more, like, philanthropic endeavors that would actually fill their soul more than just
A surgeon. You done went and got all that education for all those years, almost a decade, to ultimately not work and be burnt out when you finally get to actually leverage your degree. This is what we see with a lot of people. Listen, and hey, if you do money grabs and you make a lot of money, because like she said, I mean, if you can make $500K a year, you could work 3 years and you're not really going to have 1.5 after all the money clears, after everything gets taken out, but you'll have a good amount and you still have the potential to earn more. And you can always come back. You'll always be needed and you'll always have the skill set. So I can understand taking a break or whatever, but call it that. When we start saying I'm quitting my job to do strictly content creation, that's when it starts getting a little bit crazy. Especially, again, I guess it really just depends on how you look at things. If you're somebody who truly wants to capitalize off of all the potential that you have and all the ability that you have and that you ultimately worked for in school to get to this point, I guess I just can't understand it from my philosophy, but that's because I've been all the way effed up. I've been on both sides of the spectrum and I've been all right. I've been all the way messed up financially and I've been all right. When I do all right. I'm cool. So because I still have that frame of reference of what it's like to just be completely effed up, I guess maybe that may give me a little bit a little bit of a scarcity to where it's like, no, I still gotta get as much out of it as possible to make sure that I'm all the way good. But maybe I'll never feel all the way good. Who knows? But and I think that's just a human thing too. It's just never enough. There's always a new goal. You could have 10 million and then you're gonna be like, dang, it's not enough. We see it all the time. So something that you prayed for and wished for, you could have it, and then you just gonna go move on to the next thing. It's just human nature. We're never satisfied, but that's why we continue to improve and evolve.
Philanthropic endeavors that would actually fill their soul more than just like being a slave to the health insurance companies. So some of your favorite content creators are broke, and I know this because I used to be one. Okay, now this is not me being shady, but to keep y'all from going to hell, I'm dropping a 4-part series on my YouTube this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can come pop in at 7 p.m. And we're going to
The description says 1 million followers and living check to check is crazy.
talk about what you're doing wrong, how to position yourself as a brand and a business, not just a fan of these companies that want a brand sponsorship or partnership or anything like that. But I'm really giving you all the tips, tricks, and tools that I've picked up over the last 10 years. Because as y'all know, I ain't had no job since 2018. That's pre-pandemic. Okay, so during the pandemic, it got kind of rough, and I had to start getting creative or I was going to be on that pole. Okay, so I'm giving y'all the game for free. Okay, I'm going to teach you every single thing that I use, every app, every platform, every stream of income that I have. I'm breaking it down for free.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. When she's saying 1 million followers, she's saying on TikTok.
And when they
Because
said doing the thing that scares you is going to be the one thing that makes you rich, they were not.
I would argue on TikTok, you have less leverage, because I would think too, you don't technically have less leverage. It really just depends on how you're set up. I think a lot of people are thirsty for the brand deals because they're not getting any other revenue from anywhere else from TikTok. So it's like they know it's brand deals or miss. They have to get that. They have to secure that. So that then gives the brand deals a lot of leverage. Whereas if you're on another platform like Twitch, like YouTube, things where you get money from ads or from, you know, other sources, you just have money coming in, maybe super chats, your chat can donate to you. You have a little bit more leverage because you're not necessarily hurting for funds. You actually do get compensated pretty well just from the platform itself. But TikTok, you have to go after those deals. Whereas on other platforms, you may have a little bit more negotiating power to make sure that you really get what you deserve at the very least. Now, her caption says, I quit my 80K a year job, and this happened next. It says, I quit my job, bet on myself, and TikTok changed my.
And when they said doing the thing that scares you is going to be the one thing that makes you rich, they were not lying. I literally quit my job at $80,000 salary as a general manager at a restaurant, comfortable, getting my money, building the team, learning skills. I had no reason to leave, but I left. And this is what happened next. Once I left that job, everything was on the line. I had 3 months worth of expenses left. I didn't have really any skill sets. When I was
She left her job with 3 months savings. She left an 80K a year job with 3 months savings. Can we think of how that could have worked out terribly wrong? It could have been terribly wrong, and we see tons of examples of those. Don't let these outlier success stories get you twisted. This could have went terribly wrong, and it ain't easy to get no general manager restaurant job. That's pretty much a smooth job, probably, but that's not guaranteed for sure.
line. I had 3 months worth of expenses left. I didn't have really any skill sets. When I was going to go to college, I got a huge concussion and I just never ended up going. Then I got my real estate license, and I didn't even get my real estate license. I got the course to get the license. I didn't even follow through with that because then I came up across TikTok, and TikTok changed my life forever. I've been full-time on TikTok for 1 year and coming up on 3 months, and here's exactly what's changing my life. Number one, I have time freedom, and I actually work 24/7, but it doesn't feel like I'm actually working, because now it's something that I'm really thoroughly enjoying. Although TikTok is challenging at times and sometimes your views are not where you want them to be, the most rewarding part for me is that I'm actually working for myself. I wake up every single day and have to figure out, what does Aaliyah need in order to continue to succeed? And I want you to...
Her views on this video aren't even that crazy, to be honest. So let me see. Let's do I mean, she's got good follower count. She's got about 250,000 followers, which is great for TikTok. 3.5 million likes. So she probably posts a lot. She does. She doesn't really get that crazy of views, though. I'm not going to lie. Her views aren't that crazy. It's really not. And here's another thing. See, y'all be wanting to leave your job so you can just live a plush life and just be doing nothing, just be idle. I'm looking at her stuff. She's literally not doing nothing. She's literally not doing nothing. You can kind of see her view counts here. She just be in the car not doing nothing. You quit your job, so you can make content just sitting in your car not doing nothing anyway. Y'all just don't be wanting to do nothing. That's what it is. That's why I feel like it's so lazy. Look at this. Look, just putting on lip balm and talking. You couldn't have did this with a job still? I mean, you can clearly see she done did most of these on the same day. She got the same shirt on. What? This took about an hour for you to just be running your mouth, and then you had 15 video clips from it because this is short form content anyway. Again, I just don't think it's a smart decision. I think you could have had both ends and you could have been making money both ways, because then when we see unpredictable things happen that change your circumstance, then it's like you're not ready. And it's like, someone help me, someone save me.
Go and experience that same feeling, even if it's not quitting your job. Like a lot of us, we already know it's it's challenging, but I want you to apply for my free Creator Academy waitlist in the bio. It will be launching very soon, tier 1.
Okay, so you're trying to sell something, and that could be an indication. As you can see, she got to find ways to be selling something, because everybody's got a course now. You got to have something to sell. You on TikTok, you got to find a way to take the eyes and the views and actually sell those people something tangible, as opposed to just a platform still paying you something for you being on their platform. All right.
Okay, I am shaking. This is my last check that I'm ever going to get from my 9-to-5 that I quit 2 weeks ago to become a full-time content creator. And I am like, oh my God. This is weird. This is weird because this check used to mean everything. I used to spend every single penny of this check because I didn't have any money. And it's surreal and weird and crazy. It's crazy.
Now she's the real deal. She's the real deal. This video alone got 20K likes. Maybe she's not the real deal, actually. Maybe this just blew up. Some of her other videos don't do just as well as this video, so.
I'm not going to cry right now. I'm not going to cry. I'm going to show you guys how much this is. I'm going to show you guys how much I used to make for an entire month of work. I'm now making this amount per day, sometimes from my course or from UGC videos. And I'm in awe that getting this in the mail didn't faze me. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is all I have, which is, oh my God, it's such a weird feeling. It's such a great feeling, but a weird feeling, and nervy and crazy that this is my life. But I just wanted to post this because I felt like I had to post this because I know someone will be inspired by this. And I'm going to tell you, you can quit your 9-to-5, you can do things that are scary, and you can make things happen for your entire family and for you, and you can get out of the situation that you're in, because you deserve this. And this number isn't your worth. This isn't your worth. Okay, I'm going to show you how much I was making in a month there, you guys. And I'm going to cover obviously my address and try to cover the check number, but oh my gosh, this is how much I was making. $3,000 a month was my worth 2 weeks ago.
They was giving you a monthly check. I don't know, man. Something about this seems a little off.
Was my worth 2 weeks ago, a month ago, when I decided to quit. And for the of my insane story and insane life, this is proof that you can get out and you can leave and you can have a better life and that you deserve this better life. So anyways, I don't know. I feel like I had to show you guys. Okay, I am shaking. This is my
Okay. Yeah. It says you people need to stop quitting your job for full-time content creators, because if your content isn't catching people's attention, it's going to go downwards. You need to do 50-50 for job and content, just in case content goes wrong. You have a backup plan. That's the main thing, but I'm not going to lie. You know, do what you want to do. It's your life. If you feel that confident about it, or if you just have that much of a desire to do it, do you. But I just have a feeling that I can somewhat predict what's going to happen in most cases. There's going to be some people where it really pops off and it was the right decision. But I think for most, because I see this becoming a growing sentiment of most people, that they just want to do content creation full time. And I don't even think that the root of it is because they're just that passionate about content. It's lifestyle based, like anything, right? It just gives the portrayal of a certain lifestyle. That's why you see so many people want to do DoorDash and Uber and these rideshare type gig jobs, because I think ultimately people just want to be able to do whatever they want to do with their time, not have to answer to nobody. And I think also a big thing is not having to wake up early, get ready to go somewhere and have to be obligated to do it. So if that's that important to you, then go ahead. But I don't think that's a smart strategy, especially in America, especially with the way that things are going. I think now more than ever, you need to be diversified. And typically when I see something to where a large group of people are running that way, I probably want to avoid that. Whichever route that they're going to, I probably want to go the opposite route, because we see so many people now who are leaving their job to become full-time content creators, which ultimately causes more saturation. So you also have to be self-aware to know if you're truly that good. But also, again, you have to hedge against the risk, because even no matter how good you are, with more saturation, it just becomes more crowded. And ultimately, it becomes more difficult to be able to break through the noise, because the algorithm is going to give everybody a chance. Everybody's going to get a certain amount of impressions, a certain amount of space to test their content and see if it resonates. And the more people that crowd that, the less impressions, the less pushes there are to go around. If a person opens their screen, they can only see one person's clip at the certain time. And these platforms are incentivized to be able to try to distribute everyone's equally. So the more people who ultimately come on the platform and try to become creators, the harder it's going to get, but the more in favor that is for the platforms. It's kind of like these rideshare apps, like I mentioned. More and more people keep wanting to quit their job and just do DoorDash, or maybe they lose their job and they decide to do that, and then they get comfortable and they stay there forever. Not forever, but they stay there ultimately. And so you see that the wages for the trips don't really go up. If anything, they just stay flat or they go down, because there's more and more people who are willing to take the trips for whatever the rideshare apps are paying, because there's so many people available who need it. And now you see wages are flat, even in the time right now when gas prices are through the roof due to political conflicts. So you have to hedge against that. And ultimately, the best way to hedge against that is just to have some type of a plan B. I don't think this is the all-in economy anymore. And by all in, I mean, I don't think this is the economy where you say, I'm going all in on my plan A and it's got to work. If software developers and coders would have taken that philosophy and said, I'm going all in on software development and it's got to work. Listen, man, you're not getting by AI. You've been displaced. It's just that simple. You got to move on. You got to let it go. And there's going to be other things and other forms, especially when people get displaced, then they have to find other places to go and be, which may actually be the place where you're trying to make your stomping ground. So we'll leave it there for today, y'all. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I am a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels, so that's why. But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days. And hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So it's usually best practice if you want to hype to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer video. And also, if you want to become a member of the channel as well, join buttons on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family will come with is you would get badges next to your comments where it will show people that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you would get early access to content and also exclusive content that's not available for everyone else on YouTube. So again, if you want to become a member, join buttons on the video. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.